Hello again to all our listeners and welcome back to another episode of Medshield Movement Connect show. Today we're going to be sitting down with Jodi Edmunds. She's a health coach who's gone through such an interesting journey and she has so much insight to share with all of you as to how you can live a balanced, holistic life. Listen in, turn up the volume. Get ready to know what you don't know about being body brilliant. This is the Medshield Movement Connect show, where we connect the dots between fitness, health, wellness, nutrition, and of course you. Hosted by me, Dr. Fez Mkhize, and a special guest that we have every month, sharing knowledge, insights, and groundbreaking tips on how to get fitter, be stronger, and live healthier. Turn up the volume and listen close. Today you amplify. It's the Medshield Movement Connect show. Let's go. Jodi, I'm so excited to have you on the show because your journey is quite an interesting one where it wasn't just a matter of losing weight. You actually ended up changing your entire life and you became a health coach. How did that journey start?
Yeah, it's been much more than just like a weight loss journey. It's been a journey, a holistic journey of self-care.
I love that you say holistic, by the way, because so many people and we talk about wellness and being holistic because a lot of people just talk about health because it encompasses everything. Exactly.
It's so much, health is so much more than like just the food on our plate. It's everything, and once I'd figured that out, that's kind of what took me on this journey and started it essentially.
So figuring that out, and when we say you lost a certain amount of weight, there's always kind of that implication that maybe you had wanted to lose that weight or potentially you had tried to, because a lot of us try so many different things to get to what our ideal is. What was it that sparked it? And did you want to lose the 19 kilos? It was 19 kilos that you lost. Yeah. Did you actively want to lose that, or was that just part of your mindset change?
That's an interesting question. So essentially, in all my attempts to lose weight in the past, I had purely just focused on weight loss. So I purely just said, I'm going to do way less because I want to lose weight, or I'm going to try this diet because I want to lose weight. Where this kind of started from was more weight loss was there, yes, but there was other things that were involved that were actually more important. And then the weight loss started coming like as a bonus. So it all, as I said, kind of just started with self-care and taking care of myself mentally, which in turn then made me think, well, to take care of myself mentally, I need to also take care of myself physically. And when I started just doing that, then I noticed the weight loss happening. And then I was like, cool, well, this is happening too. And yes, it is part of my goals. I want to feel more comfortable within myself. So it kind of just came along with everything.
So, trial and error having happened in the past, what was it? Was there a specific diet or a scheme that you ended up going with? Or was it all centered around kind of mindfulness, thinking in a certain way? Because everybody always kind of wants to be led on a certain path. And I think just because this worked for you, of course, it doesn't mean it's going to work for everybody, but it's always nice to know the spark and tangible things that you can do to then allow you to find the best route.
Yeah. So in terms of what I actually did and what I followed, so if I go back to kind of like what I had attempted in the past and then compare it to what I did now. So I had always kind of focused on like a specific thing, a specific diet. What changed and what sparked it was allowing myself mental stability. And in that, it was basically really everything in moderation. And it sounds so silly to say because we hear it all the time.
People always hear that and they're like, moderation, okay, that sounds like it's nonsense. Tell me that I need to have this much exactly to the T.
Yeah. So it was everything in moderation, if that's how I sum it up. However, the things that helped me understand that was becoming aware of like my calorie intake. So I didn't cut out any foods. I didn't follow a specific diet. What I did was stick to whole foods and then just become more aware of my calorie intake, which made me more mindful because I did have a tendency to overeat and eat more than I should. So it just made me more mindful of kind of understanding what I really do need, how much my body needs to feel energized, and kind of just bring me back to like give myself a base of portions and sizes and things. So that was a very big part of it.
And I mean, that is probably the best advice I also give to people, is that you can't live in this box or pigeonholed environment. And maybe being a breatharian, which I don't know if you know, it's people who, it's such a weird thing, being a breatharian where you can kind of live off the atmosphere and then the gases in the air. It might not be for you, and they also have their reasons for it. And I always say start off with something that's like that, allowing yourself to try a bunch of things that you then enjoy become easier to identify, but in moderation. Caloric deficit if you need to lose just a bit in terms of how your body's structured. But 19 kilos, that seems like a lot to lose. What is the time frame? Are we talking?
So around a year and a half.
A year and a half?
Yeah.
It's actually very healthy.
Just under a year and a half.
And that's just from mindful eating, knowing kind of your caloric amount as well as training, any specific training?
Yeah, so it was definitely the mindful eating, the sticking to whole foods, being aware of the calorie intake. And then for me, the fitness was a big part of it. It was a big part of, obviously, like, you know, there's the whole scientific thing to fitness and weight loss and all of that. But it also kept me on a really good path of keeping my mind in the right place, because when I noticed that I exercised, I noticed that I felt better, like mentally, and I wanted to chase that feeling. So then I began to enjoy it and I began to exercise more. And then what that started doing was I started like seeing that I was actually getting stronger. So then I was like, cool, oh my gosh, my body's actually getting stronger. So then I wanted to keep making it stronger. So it all started with just doing it to kind of make me feel good, and then adding on the weight loss, and then just enjoying it, if that makes sense. In terms of what I was doing specifically, I started off with the Kayla Itzinas BBG program.
And I mean, listen, I know a bit about you, and I saw that name, and I just am happy you said it, because it's seen us.
So I used to say it seems, and then when I actually started like following her really like properly, I saw you say it's seen us.
Okay, so I'm just gonna say the BBG is what I'm gonna call it, by KI. There we
go.
Perfect. So it was her kind of training schedule that helped you kind of start off, and then you branched off, I'm assuming, to other disciplines as well.
Yeah, exactly. So I started with her just because it's just follows a really nice structure. So it was 2 resistance strength training kind of things per week. And then what she also recommends is you add on a LISS and a HIIT training. So essentially what I noticed, or how that was benefiting me, was I was getting a variety of different movement in my exercise routine. And I think that helped a lot. So it was just following her 12-week program. Was it 12 weeks? Yeah, 12-week program. So and then I kind of carried on after that. But then I started just becoming more interested in fitness. So that's when I reached out to a personal trainer and started doing that. And then started really enjoying running. So started doing that. Now I do bar 3 times a week. So the BBG kind of started me on a really nice path because of the structure and the variety that it included. And then kind of just branched out into different things from there.
And I love how once you've started, things become a lot easier because you kind of gain that confidence. I always like to ask people kind of when we are coming closer to the end of it, just their 3 top things. So I'm going to ask you 2 of these sets, right? The 3 top things you would tell somebody who is at this point had a rough COVID lockdown time and really wants to get into fitness again, has tried in the past, kind of similar to how you had tried as a health coach. What would you say to them are the 3 top things they just need to do to allow this road to become easier?
It's a really good question, and I think one of the biggest mistakes people make when it comes to starting these fitness journeys or health journeys or whatever it is just taking things too much to the extreme. So when we start, we're like, oh, I'm never going to eat a pizza again, or I'm going to wake up, I'm going to work out every single day, and like that's not possible. So I guess the 2 things that I would say is progress over perfection. That's the first thing. And then the second thing is looking at it with an 80-20 mindset. So an 80-20 mindset is just about really making amazing choices that benefit your health 80% of the time, which then gives you the mental stability for being able to kind of, I guess, enjoy life. With the other 20% of the time.
I love that. I'm going to take that into account now. Because I think I've been going 95-5. So 80-20, okay. Yeah. Third one.
So for me, that's the mental stability that really helps you to make it maintainable. Because you don't feel like you can never do anything else ever again besides health and fitness. And then the last thing I think is, for me, what worked for me is looking at my health and fitness journey from a place that was more than just a physical thing. So it was looking at it from really, how can I actually take care of myself? This is me taking care of myself. So my biggest piece of advice would be for anyone going on these journeys is, in every choice you make, ask yourself how you can take care of yourself in this moment. What is going to be best for me today to really show my self-care and self-love? And when we look at it from that perspective, it kind of brings us back down to earth and makes us understand that this is from a deeper place than just like a physical thing. And yeah, that's just my main piece of advice that I would give to anyone.
And honestly, I mean, everything you've said is so similar to what I always preach to not just friends or people come up to me and ask about how to stay healthy. It's patience as well.
Absolutely.
It gives you something that seems more attainable. And that's what I love about them. And now I'm going to put you under some real pressure.
Okay.
And this is going to be 3 rapid fire. You can't think too much.
Oh God, this is so scary.
Okay. I talk about the GOATs, greatest of all times. You are a health coach. You're in the fitness industry, the wellness industry. Who are your top 3? Kind of, if somebody had to go look up these people, highly inspirational, know what they're talking about, knowledgeable. Let's go. Okay, first one.
Dr. Mark Hyman.
Mark Hyman. Okay, 1, 2.
Gabby Bernstein.
Gabby Bernstein. I know her. No, I do not. And 3.
Number 3 is
three.
Deliciously Ella. Deliciously Ella.
Jodi Edmunds. That's what I'm gonna say. Yeah, she's okay, but like Jodi's pretty cool. Like, she knows what she's doing. She's lost 19 kilos in about a year and a half. She's pretty cool. Thank you so much, Jodi. You are a wealth of knowledge. Could you tell everybody where they could find you on social media? Just because they might not be able to get you on our site, they might want to talk to you directly. So that would be
Wealthy Guru on Instagram. So that's wealthy with an H. So WHEALTHY.
Okay. Only Instagram, no Facebook page.
Yeah, I've got Wealthy Guru on Facebook as well.
Okay.
Yeah,
Instagram, Facebook.
Instagram and Facebook.
Perfect.
And then my website for my health coaching services is livewealthy.co.
I love how you health coaching services. She's really good at what she does, guys. Again, thank you so much for joining us on the Medshield Movement Connect show. We have, yet again, another incredible guest who's giving you guys knowledge as to how you can live better. Connecting those dots, guys. That's all it is. Me, Dr. Fez, you can find me kind of here every other week. So tune in.